Greetings, everyone. Jeff Shore here. Let's talk about one of my favorite concepts. Let's talk about momentum.
Momentum!
Because right now, most of us are living in a market that's not giving us any. The energy isn't coming in from outside. So that means it has to come from us. But that's the way it should be. Momentum isn't gifted by the market. It's generated by leadership energy, by rhythm, and by example.
I'll show you.
The best leaders build micro momentum even when the macro conditions are working against them. And here's the big idea. Momentum is a choice, not a condition. Momentum is a choice, not a condition. So on today's 5-minute sales training, we're going to be talking about creating momentum in a market that just doesn't want to give it to us for free. All right, let's rewind. I'm going to go all the way back to 2006 and tell you what, 2006 was awesome. We were all geniuses. We were so good at sales, and we have the plaques and the statues to prove it. 2008, suddenly we were all dummies. You could feel it in the hallway. Everyone was quieter and slower and more cautious. Now, it didn't mean we were bad people. It just means we had lost the momentum. The market had stolen our rhythm.
We were so locked into a rhythm.
See, when external momentum disappears, internal urgency has to take its place. And that's what separates the so-so from the great ones. You see, the opposite of momentum isn't death, it's drift. And our job is to make progress visible again. So let's break that down. Momentum happens in 3 layers: input momentum, team momentum, market momentum. So let's start with input momentum. This is what we do every single day. This is our energy source, habits, visibility, emotional tone, rhythm. When we show up early Monday with energy and with a plan, when we are celebrating small wins all along the way, what are we doing? We are fueling that engine. This is internal momentum. Momentum begins when we stop improvising, when we start being far more intentional with these things.
Let's keep up the momentum!
But there's also the team momentum. That's what we feel collectively. It's about belief and confidence and unity. And we build that with rituals, huddles, victory emails, visible progress boards. What role are you playing on your team to try and raise that team momentum? Are you bringing it up or are you dragging it down? Because momentum lives in emotion, not spreadsheets. People run faster when they can feel progress.
But we need to keep this momentum going.
And then finally, there is that market momentum. And even when traffic is slow, the market reads our internal energy. Momentum shows up in how our communities feel, in the music, in the activity, in the energy on the sales floor. Because your customers can smell your mood. And I mean like that. And your customer will adopt a low momentum environment if we're not careful. So how do we fix a low momentum problem? Well, start with a quick health check. Rate yourself 1 to 10 in 3 areas: your input momentum, your team's energy, and your market presence. I want to recommend that you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in those 3 areas. Your input momentum, that which you bring from within, the momentum of the team and the environment around you, and then in your market presence. Not what is the market bringing to you by way of momentum, but what are you bringing to the market by way of presence? Then ask yourself, what's the drag? And what is within my control this week? Look, you can't fix what you're not willing to measure. Momentum leaks begin with silence. So let's talk about building that micro momentum, the small wins that spark the huge victories. And I want to make a suggestion here to you. I want you to launch a 5-day challenge with 5 self-directed appointments, 5 closing questions. Create a momentum board with photos of active buyers. Re-energize your model home environment. Make it feel alive again. Do something that creates your own momentum belief. Don't wait for the world to move around you. You move first. Look, you got to ask yourself the question, when was the last time you felt momentum? What part of that could you recreate this month? Where have you been waiting for conditions instead of creating conditions? Here's my challenge for you. Finish this sentence. I will create momentum by ... because your mood is the market's forecast. Momentum isn't luck. It's leadership, self-leadership with rhythm. Remember now, the market doesn't owe you momentum, but you owe it to yourself, to your organization, and mostly to your customer to create that internal momentum. When the market stalls, this is where true leaders accelerate. Be the engine, not the echo. If momentum is missing, it's waiting on you. So go out and create it. All right, thanks for watching today's 5-minute sales training. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe video so you're never going to miss an episode. We'll see you next week, but until then, you know what to do. Learn more to earn more.